Good morning, students. Today now we are going to see subject of commerce. Unit 1, Fundamentals of Business. Under this, the topic is Objectives of Business. So many subtopics have given. The first one is Introduction, Types of Economic Activities, Characteristics of Business, and the last topic is Objectives of Business. So under this Objectives of Business, the first topic is Human Activities. In every society, people undertake various activities to satisfy their needs. So these activities can be broadly classified into two groups, that is economic activities and non-economic activities. So the next topic is economic activities. Economic activities means activities undertaken with the object of earning money or livelihood are known as economic activities. For example, a teacher goes to school, a manager to his office, a doctor to his clinic, a worker to the factory, and a lawyer to the court, etc. These are called to be as economic activities. The next one is non-economic activities. These activities are performed not to earn money, but for self-satisfaction. Thus, there are no economic benefits. For example, watching movies, playing football, helping mother in kitchen, then chatting with friends. So these are considered to be as a non-economic activities. The next we can see the difference between economic activities and non-economic activities. So here it is given the differences. So the first one is definition. Under this economic activities are those activities which are undertaken to earn money or financial gain for livelihood. For example, fruit seller selling fruits. Under non-economic activities are those activities which are undertaken for the sake of pleasure, performed out of love, sympathy, sentiments, etc. For example, mother cooks for her family. And the second difference is motive. So here under economic activities, sole motive is to earn money or financial gain. For example, working as a lawyer. And under this non-economic activities, it undertaken for satisfaction of social, psychological or emotional needs. Example, visit to a temple. And the third difference is money measurement. All economic activities can be valued in monetary terms. For example, doctor charges 500 as consultation fees. And in non-economic activities, it cannot be valued in monetary terms. These are an expression of a thought, feeling or a gesture. For example, an NGO distributes free clothes to poor children. And the fourth difference is relationship. Under economic activities, it is related to creation of wealth. For example, Ram saved part of his salary to purchase a house of his own. And under non-economic activities, it did not create wealth. For example, money received as a donation is spent on charity work. And the fifth difference is outcome. All economic activities result in production, procurement, distribution and consumption of goods and services. For example, Nokia produces cell phones and sells across India through its distributors. Under non-economic activities, the end result of a non-economic activity is the mental, emotional or psychological satisfaction of the person doing the activity. Example, Sona enjoys teaching orphans in an orphanage. And the next difference, duration. Economic activities are repetitive. They are done on a regular basis to earn a living. For example, Gulfi ice cream seller sells ice creams every evening. Under non-economic activities, it may not be undertaken regularly. Usually, they are done during free time. For example, Shankar visits orphanage in his free time. And the last difference is source of initiation. Under economic activities, it are initiated to satisfy human needs and wants. But in non-economic activities, it is initiated to satisfy emotional or sentimental pleasures. So these are the differences between the economic activities and non-economic activities. The next is Types of economic activities. So economic activities are classified into profession, employment and business. The first one is employment. Employment means it refers to the occupation in which people work for others and get remuneration in the form of wages or salaries. The one who is employed by others are called employees, and the one who employs others is called employer. Example, managers, clerks, bank officials, factory workers, etc. And the characteristics is there is a contract existing between the employer and the employee. Employee performs according to assigned task. Remuneration is given to employees for delivering value of services. An employee must abide by the rules and regulations of the organization. So these are all about the characteristics of employment. And the next one is profession. Professions are those occupations which involve rendering of personal service of a special and expert nature. A profession is something which is more than a job. It is a career for someone who is competent in their respective areas. It includes professional activities which are subject to guidelines or codes of conduct laid down by professional bodies. Those engaged in a profession are called professionals, and they earn income by charging professional fees. So the characteristics is there should be a systematic body of knowledge. There should be a formal acquisition of knowledge by the members. There should be a code of conduct governing the conduct and behavior of professionals. Service motive should be uppermost in the minds of people rendering professional service. So these are all the characteristics which will comes under this profession. The next one is business. Business refers to any human activity undertaken on a regular basis with the object to earn profit through production, distribution, purchase and sales of goods and services. Business activities are connected with raising, producing or processing of goods. Industry creates form utility to goods by bringing materials into the form which is useful for intermediate consumption, that is further use of material in order to industry or final consumption by consumers. The next we can see the classification of business activities. So the business activities are classified into size, ownership and functions. Under size, it is small scale and large scale. And under ownership, it is classified into public sector, private sector and joint sector. And under functions, it is classified into industry and trade. So the first one is activities on the basis of size. On the basis of size, business activities may be broadly grouped into two categories, that is small scale and other one is large scale. So now we are going to see small scale. Small scale units require less capital. They employ small number of workers and produce the goods on small scale. For example, manufacturing textiles in handlooms or power looms. And the next one is large scale business. Under this large scale business, large scale units require huge capital. They employ large number of workers and produce the goods on large scale. For example, manufacturing textiles in a large textile mill. For example, Raymond's, Ramraj Cotton. Then second example is extraction of edible oil from oil seeds in oil mills. Examples are Saffola and sunflower. And the next one is activities based on the ownership. On the basis of ownership, business activities may be classified into three categories, and this first one is private enterprise. An enterprise is said to be a private enterprise where it is owned, managed and controlled by persons other than government. For example, sole proprietorship, example Sundar Stationaries, and the second example is partnership firms, example Ramesh Bros. And the next one is public enterprise. An enterprise is said to be a public enterprise where it is owned, managed and controlled by government or any of its agencies or both. Public enterprises may be organized in several forms, such as first one is departmental undertaking, public works department, And the second one is public corporation, oil and natural gas corporation. These are the examples for public sector enterprise. The third one is joint sector enterprises. An enterprise is said to be a joint enterprise where it is owned, managed and controlled by government and private entrepreneurs. For example, Maruti Suzuki. The next one is activities on the basis of function. On the basis of function, the business activities may be broadly classified into two categories. Under this, the first one is industry. Industry includes all those business activities which are connected with raising, producing or processing of consumer goods. For example, bread, butter, cheese, shoes or capital goods like machinery. So these are the examples for industry. The next one is commerce. It establishes a link between the producers and consumers of goods and maintains a smooth and uninterrupted flow of goods from producers to consumers. So this is called to be as a commerce. The next one is comparison of business, profession and employment. Under this, the first difference is mode of establishment. Under business, promoters' decision, registration and other formalities as prescribed by law. And under profession, membership of a professional body or certificate of practice. And for employment, service contract or letter of appointment. And the second difference is nature of work. Under business, goods and services provided to the public. And in profession, personalized service of expert nature. And under employment, performing work assigned by the employer. And the third one is qualification. No minimum qualification is essential in business. In profession, education and training is specialized field. And in employment, minimum qualification is essential. And the fourth difference is basic motive. Under business, earning profits by satisfying needs of society. And in profession, it renders service. Under employment, earning wages or salary by serving the employer. And the fifth difference is capital. Under business, capital investment required as per size of the firm. And under profession, limited capital necessary for establishment. But in employment, no capital required. And the sixth difference is reward. Under business, the reward is profit, and under profession, the reward is professional fee, and under employment, the reward is salary or wages. And the next difference is risk. Under business, profits are uncertain and irregular. And in profession, the fee is regular and certain and never negative. And in employment, fixed and regular pay, no risk. And the eighth difference is transfer of interest. Under business, transfer possible with some formalities. And in profession, it is not possible. And in employment, it is not transferable. And the last point is code of ethics. No specific code of conduct, moral and ethical dealings only. But in profession, professional code of ethics. And in employment, the rules and regulations of the employing organization is the code of ethics. So these are all the comparison between business, profession and employment. Now we are going to see characteristics of business. Under this, the first one is production or procurement of goods. It means the goods must be produced or procured in order to satisfy the human wants. And the second one is sale, transfer or exchange. It means there must be a sale or exchange of goods or services. When a person weaves cloth for his personal consumption, it is not business because there is no transfer or sale. So this is called to be as a sale, transfer or exchange. The third one is dealing in goods and services. Goods produced or procured may be consumer goods like cloth, pen, brush, bag, etc. or producer goods like plant and machinery. Services refers to activities like supply of electricity, gas or water, transportation, banking, insurance, etc. So this is called dealing in goods and services. Fourth one is regularity of dealings. An isolated dealing in buying and selling does not constitute business. The transactions must be regular. For example, if a person buys a scooter for his use and later on disposes it off at a profit, he cannot be said to have been engaged in business. The buying and selling must be recurrent to constitute the business. That is called to be as a regularity of dealings. The fifth point is profit motive. An important feature of business is profit motive. Business is an economic activity by which human beings make their living. It is in fact the attraction of profit which spurs people to do the business. That is called to be as a profit motive. And the last one is element of risk. The profit that is expected in a business is always uncertain because it depends upon a number of factors beyond the control of the businessman. For example, change in consumer preference, shortage of raw materials, transport bottlenecks, power crisis, etc. It may upset business calculation and it results in loss. That is why profit is said to be a reward for risk taking. Thus, any business activity includes an elements of risk too. So, these are all the essential characteristics of business. The next topic is objectives of business. Under this, it is classified into economic, social, human, national and global. First one is economic objectives. It refers to the objective of earning profit along with other objectives that are necessary to be pursued to achieve it, as such as profit earning, creation of customers, regular innovations, and the fourth one is best possible use of resources. Second one is social objectives. Since business operates in a society by utilizing its scarce resources, the society expects something in return for its welfare. Social objectives are those objectives of business which are desired to be achieved for the benefit of the society. So this is called to be as a social objectives. The next one is organizational objectives. It refers to the objectives for the whole organization. While fixing these objectives, management keeps it consideration the benefit of all the related parties like owner, employee, customer, government, etc. This also fulfills organizational economic objectives which are survival, profit and growth. So this is called to be as an organizational objectives. The next one is human objectives. Human objectives refers to the objectives aimed at the well-being as well as fulfillment of expectations of employees as also of people who are disabled, handicapped and deprived of proper education and training. The human objectives of business may thus include economic well-being of the employees, social and psychological satisfaction of employees and development of human resources. So this is called to be as an human objectives. And the last one is national objectives. Being an important part of the country, every business must have the objective of fulfilling national goals and aspirations. The goal of the country may be to provide employment opportunity to its citizen, earn revenue for its exchange, become self-sufficient in production of goods and services, promote social justice, etc. Business activities should be conducted keeping these goals of the country in mind, which may be called national objectives of business. Thus, these are the objectives of business. Now, assignment. The first question is distinguish between economic and non-economic activity. Distinguish between economic and non-economic activity. And the second question is explain the characteristics of business. Explain the characteristics of business.